चिंटू हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं? अरे चिंटू हम पिकनिक पर जा रहे हैं, तू मैं और बाबू। तब तो बड़ा मजा आएगा चिंटू। लेकिन हम कहाँ जा रहे हैं पिकनिक मनाने? मुझे तो कुछ पता ही नहीं है। समुद्र के किनारे, और हम वहाँ पर कांटे लगाकर समुद्र से मछली भी पकड़ेंगे। अरे वो देखो, रोड पर एक बिल्ली रास्ता पार कर रही है। बाबू उस बिल्ली के बच्चे को टेम्पो से ठोकना मत। नहीं नहीं, मुझे बिल्ली के बच्चे तो बहुत पसंद है। मैं उनके साथ खेलता हूँ तो कुचलूंगा क्यों? अरे वो तो बीच रोड पर ही खड़ी हो गई। अब तो पक्का टेम्पो से कुचल जाएगी। रुको, साइड से निकालता हूँ टेम्पो को। अरे ये तो टेम्पो के आगे आगे ही भागने लगी। जिधर टेम्पो जा रहा है उधर ये बिल्ली का बच्चा भी जा रहा है। अरे बिल्ली का बच्चा हट जा आगे से, नहीं तो टेम्पो से कुचल कर मर जाएगा तू। हुई हुई हुई, चल हट जा। हुई हुई हुई, भाग जा आगे से। अरे बचा लेना उस बिल्ली के बच्चे को बाबू। अरे मैं क्या करूं? टेम्पो को जहाँ जहाँ ले जा रहा हूँ उधर ये बिलौटी आ जा रही है। अरे कुचल दिया रे तूने उस बिल्ली के बच्चे को। लो हो गया पिकनिक। अरे चलो उसे देखते हैं, वो जिंदा भी है या मर गई। हाँ चलो। बिल्ली, बिलैया, अबे बिल्ली के बच्चे उठ, मर गए क्या? बाबू तुम्हें बोला था उस बिल्ली के बच्चे को मत कुचलना, लेकिन तूने कुचल ही दिया। तू बहुत ही कमीना है, पगला गया है तू। ये जानबूझकर मेरे टेम्पो के सामने भाग रही थी और कुचल गई, तो अब क्या करे? चलो इसको अपने गांव के डॉक्टर से दिखाते हैं, शायद ये ठीक हो जाए। नहीं, इसे यहीं रोड पर छोड़ दो और चलो हम पिकनिक पर चलते हैं। अरे पिकनिक पर तो बाद में भी चले जाएंगे, पहले चलो इसे बचाते हैं। अरे वो देखो, लगता है वो इस बिल्ली के बच्चे की माँ है। वो हमारी तरफ तेजी से आ रही है। देखो वो बहुत गुस्से में है, लगता है अब वो हमें काटेगी। अरे चिंटू बाबू को छोड़ो, चलो इस बिल्ली के बच्चे को डॉक्टर के पास लेकर चलते हैं। हाँ तुम इसे उठाओ और चलो। चलो अब। अरे मुझे इस खतरनाक बिल्ली के पास छोड़कर क्यों भाग रहे हो? बचाओ मुझे। अब खुद ही अपने आप को बचाओ, हम तो जा रहे हैं। अरे मत जाओ, रुको। अरे छोड़ दे रे बिलैया की अम्मा, मैंने जानबूझकर तुम्हारे बच्चे को नहीं ठोका, वही टेम्पो के सामने आ गया था। बाप रे बाप, फिर से काट लिया। Oh no! आजा आजा, अब आके पकड़ ले मुझे। अब तू मुझे नहीं काट पाएगी, ये टेम्पो तुमसे बहुत तेज भागता है। अरे चिंटू और चिंकी रुको। अरे इतना तेजी में दौड़कर कहाँ जा रहे हो? मम्मी, बाबू ने इस बिल्ली के बच्चे को टेम्पो से कुचल दिया है, इसीलिए हम इसे डॉक्टर के पास लेकर जा रहे हैं इलाज कराने के लिए। क्या? ठीक है तो जल्दी जाओ और जल्दी वापस आ भी जाना। ठीक है मम्मी, हम जल्दी वापस आ जाएंगे। अरे ये बिल्ली तो टेम्पो से भी तेज दौड़ रही है, लगता है अब ये मुझे काट के ही छोड़ेगी। Oh no! हॉस्पिटल का दरवाजा खोलो, बहुत जरूरी है।
But toward the cracked leather of her suitcase. Its worn edges had been pressed into her palms countless times, each crease a story she wasn't ready to speak. She remembered the first time she had held it. Her father's office, dust motes floating in the sunlight that slanted through the blinds. "Keep it safe," he had said, his voice low, almost hesitant. "It holds more than things. It holds lessons." She had nodded, pretending to understand, though she was only 8. The suitcase had been hers, even then, a companion when the world felt too loud. She could still feel the weight of it as she had trudged through empty streets, the sound of her own footsteps echoing against brick walls. Lessons, she now realized, were often painful, invisible until the moment they burned into memory. A mother laughed nearby, tugging her child along, the child's small hand wrapped tightly around hers. A man kissed his wife goodbye, brief and tender, and a soft pang of loneliness pricked her chest. She pressed her hand over the suitcase's cracked leather, willing the weight to steady her. The stranger across the platform was still there, silent, observing. His presence was quiet but deliberate, like a shadow that refused to leave. She felt it brush against her awareness, a reminder that she was being seen in a world designed to ignore her. And yet, she didn't look back. She didn't need to. The memories rose in fragments. Nights when the apartment had been too cold, when coins in a jar had felt like promises, when she had learned to stretch a meal across 3 days and still smile at neighbors who offered pity wrapped in concern. She had learned to survive in silence, to observe without touching, to wait. And in the corners of those struggles, the suitcase had always been there, her secret keeper, her reminder that small things could carry immense weight. A gust of wind lifted the edges of her hair, and she pressed it behind her ear, fingers brushing the suitcase's handle. She tried to feel nothing, to let the ordinary chaos of the station fill the cracks in her resolve. But her gaze kept returning to the stranger. The silence between them had begun to hum, a quiet tension she could not ignore. The train doors closed across the tracks, slamming like a heartbeat. She hesitated, suitcase clutched tightly, as the stranger shifted slightly, offering nothing but a brief, confused smile. Something in that half-smile, fleeting and ambiguous, made her pause. Her heart caught, her fingers tightening once more on the leather. She wanted to move forward, but the hesitation held her fast, caught between memory, desire, and the faint, unspoken promise of what was to come. And in that frozen moment, she realized that waiting might be its own kind of lesson. Rain began to fall in quiet, insistent drops, spattering the platform with tiny silver rings. She pulled her coat tighter, the suitcase now pressed against her side like a shield. Across the tracks, the stranger shifted again, just enough for her to catch a glimpse of worn leather shoes scuffed at the toes, laces fraying. A crease in his coat pocket suggested a folded photograph, edges curling. He didn't look at her, not directly, but she could feel the intent in the way he lingered, observing, waiting. She noticed it, the way life had etched itself into him. The slouch of shoulders that had carried too much, the absent flicker of a smile that had once been real. And something in her chest twisted, recognizing herself mirrored in him. Loneliness, persistence, quiet survival. She had spent years keeping her struggles close, hidden beneath layers of silent observation. And here was someone else carrying his own. Thunder rolled in the distance, a low warning that made her grip the suitcase tighter. She wanted to turn, to leave the station, to disappear into the crowd where no one could notice her trembling hands, the faint sheen of rain on her hair, the careful weight of every step she took. And yet, some invisible thread tugged her forward. The same thread she had ignored for so long, the one that had pulled her toward lessons she wasn't ready to name. The stranger's gaze, though indirect, felt like a mirror pressed against her soul. She imagined the photo in his pocket, perhaps a daughter, perhaps a memory he couldn't bear to lose. Perhaps, like her, he had learned the hard way that survival demanded patience, observation, and sometimes quiet revenge. The rain intensified, drumming against the metal roof, washing the world in silver blur. She felt herself wobble between instinct and desire. The instinct to retreat into anonymity, the desire to see, to understand, to reach across the distance that separated them. And the suitcase, worn and cracked, pressed reassurance into her palms, as if whispering, patience. Wait, learn. Was he fate or manipulation? Every thought collided with the thunder, the wind tugging at loose strands of hair, the strangers moving past in oblivion.